In the headlines, police killed 2 bandits in Katsina during broad-day ambush. Fresh terrorism charges filed against leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. PDP governors ask members of National Assembly to override Buhari's veto on the Electoral Amendment Act. And on the foreign scene, 12 people killed in Saudi-led coalition air raids in the Yemeni capital, Sana'a. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayub Ila. Thank you for joining. The news in detail now, beginning with insecurity. Commuters ran into bandits in Badole village in Kurfi local government area of Katsina state, where bandits in their numbers mounted a roadblock, robbing passengers of their belongings. The combined team of policemen and vigilante later engaged the bandits in a gun duel, where 2 of them were neutralized. Trust TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi completes the report.
Hardly a day passes without recording bandits' attack, kidnapping, cattle rustling or armed robbery in Katsina State, especially in the insecurity frontline local government areas. Even on Friday night, heavily armed bandits attacked area village of Musa local government and abducted 2 women, Hurera Bala and Dayabamani. Similarly, at Yasore village of Batsari local government, the bandits attacked, harassed and killed 1 Lawal Saminu, a member of vigilante group in Batsari local government area. In a related development, bandits have abducted a woman with her 1-month-old baby and her 15-year-old younger sister in Damusa town. The nursing mother, in company of her younger sister, who were said to have visited their relatives in Damusa, were trapped and abducted by the bandits in the same community. In the same vein, Katsina Metropolis was Sabongida quarters in Katsina Metropolis was abducted by unknown persons recently. When Trust Television visited Sabongida quarters in Katsina Metropolis, the residents expressed shock over the incessant abductions of people in the area by unknown persons in a broad daylight. We live in fears. We have been having sleepless nights since the abduction of Anwaru. We are really confused and we don't know what to do. We are living very close to 35th Battalion of the Nigerian Army here in Katsina, but yet we are being attacked and people are being abducted.
We cannot say anything, but we are not in safe. Even though there are some securities, there we are close to Army Barrack impact, but things somehow being happening here, and we are not very much happy with this, because some days back somebody was kidnapped by the kidnappers.
The bandits came in their numbers and they kept their motorcycles very close to NTA station here in Katsina. Some of our people noticed their arrival and they informed security agents, especially those that are in Sabongida. But yet, nothing was done. And the kidnappers came around 6 p.m. They took away Anwaru. Currently, we are living in fears. Honestly, we are in fears. We don't know what to do. Confirming some of the attacks, the police public relations officer, Katsina State Police Command SP Gambo Isa, assured police commitment in addressing insecurity in Katsina State.
What happened was on the 15th of this January 2022, at about 0120 hours, we had a report that bandits have attacked Badole village, Kurfi local government area of Katsina State. The DPO led a combined team of police and vigilante group and blocked their exit routes along Errum Parkoza village, and they succeeded in engaging the bandits into a gun duel. Many of the bandits were neutralized. All the hostile animals that were stolen from the village were also recovered.
He also assured that the command will remain proactive in confronting insecurity challenges across the state. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Meanwhile, public and private schools in Zamfara State have reopened after the 5 months closure as a result of the prevailing security challenges in the state. A visit to some schools in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, revealed that academic activities in both public and private schools have resumed, but with low turnout of students. A teacher of the school visited attributed the low turnout of pupils and staff to the short notice given by the state government on Sunday evening for the reopening of schools.
Things in place in order for us to meet up with the one that we have already mixed. In the sense that we are trying to extend our closing hour, but actually you normally close around 2 o'clock. Then we need to call our parents in order so that they will extend the time, which we management have already agreed on. Then we try to talk to the parents if they can abide with it because of Islamia, because you can't deny them from that area also. We need to do what they call check and balance in order for the two to balance together. So you are not going to deny them from Islamia, and you are not going to deny them from the Western education also. So we are trying to see what we can do on that area to extend the closing time at least for additional 30 or 45 minutes.
Now, Mukhtar Gulma, the vice principal of Federal Government College Birnin Yauri, could escape when bandits attacked the school, abducting over 60 of his students some 6 months ago. The teacher, however, decided to follow his students to captivity. In this report, Trust TV's reporter in Kebbi State, Hamza Galadima, speaks to the teacher to find out why he opted for captivity when he could have escaped. The report.
Mala Mukhtar Abdullahi is a secondary school teacher and the vice principal of FGC Birnin Yauri in Kebbi State. Mala Mukhtar was one of those kidnapped alongside over 60 students when bandits came calling at the federal government institution some few months ago. But his abduction story was exceptional, as the teacher willingly gave himself up to the bandits in order to be with his students. His heroic story has taken over the airwaves and pages of newspapers all over the country, a feat which has attracted comments from all over the place. Mala Mukhtar Abdullahi Gulma has now regained his freedom along with many of the students, and in this interview I asked him what really influenced his decision to follow the bandits and be with his students when he had the opportunity to escape.
You see, the issue is, as a teacher, as a father, whatever happens, you have to take it as a will of God. So even when we started trekking, the question that came to our mind is, if we should escape, what story are you going to tell the parent of this young man interested into your mind? Or suppose when you come back again to the school now, with what pace are you going to look at those students? And another question is, if suppose one of those students along with us is your child, will you run and leave him? These are the questions myself and other my colleague Malam Bashir we could not answer.
Speaking of Mala Mukhtar's bravery and concern for the welfare of his students, the Kebbi State Commissioner for Education Alhaji Muhammadu Magawata Aleru and the State Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, Comrade Isa Umar, both commended his courage, saying his attitude is what is expected of every teacher in similar situations.
The valor that this teacher showed is what we expect of every teacher. That's why we expect, like in the country, parents, everybody to respect teachers. That's why we always try to encourage the government to pay teachers all their dues, because this kind of generous action that this teacher has taken to go along with the kidnapped students to the bandits den, you know, sacrificing his life, his children, his family, in order to save these students. So we very much appreciate, and we call on all teachers to emulate him.
Well, to me, it's not a surprise, because that is what is expected of any teacher. And I'm also not surprised by his actions, because that is how it's supposed to be. But I must salute his courage for identifying to go with his students, even though the bandits hesitated to go with him, but he insisted as long as they want to go with his students, he prepared to follow them, leaving behind his biological children and members of his family. So it is a very big sacrifice, and he has demonstrated to the people of Nigeria and the Nigerian government that teachers have concern for their students, even more than the concern they have for their own families.
But to Malam Mukhtar Abdullahi, it is not yet celebration time until the remaining students are set free.
We still have 15 students there. So those 15, I know it's not only me, that's our concern now. For them also, the way we have gained our freedom, they too also, we want them also to join us, so that we can now celebrate together. No matter the celebration we do now, it's incomplete, because we know what we passed through, and we know what they are passing through there.
Hamza Galadi Mazuru, Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
Now, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has objected to the fresh 15-count charges brought against him by the federal government. When the proceedings commenced on Tuesday, senior attorney from the Federal Ministry of Justice, Labaran Magaji, informed the court of the amended charges, but lead counsel to Kanu, Mike Ezekome, SAN, objected to the taking of fresh plea as it will amount to an ambush. Moving on, as part of efforts aimed at curtailing the spread of COVID-19, authorities in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, begin enforcement of its order for all members of staff to show evidence of COVID-19 vaccination or present a negative COVID-19 PCR test result done within 72 hours, failure of which such members of staff will not be allowed into the office premises. Trust TV's Fatima Musa monitors compliance with the order or otherwise at the FCTA. The report.
Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA has said civil servants without proof of vaccination and negative coronavirus test results done within 72 hours will not be allowed to enter their offices starting from the 17th January 2022. This is coming after the federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHDA, asked state governors to enact and enforce vaccination mandates for both local and state government workers. The FCT minister has sent a circular to relevant agencies for enforcement. This policy, according to the FCT, was part of measure to curtail the spread of the deadly virus in the FCT. as the enforcement of the policy came into effect Monday. Unvaccinated workers who were barred from gaining access to their offices could be seen outside the premises queuing to receive their vaccine shots, while others with proof of vaccination were being allowed into their offices. Some of the vaccinated staff advised their unvaccinated colleagues to get their vaccine shots, both for their sake and for the sake of others.
I'm here to take it. They say that if we didn't take it, we cannot enter into the office. So the thing is very necessary that we have to take it before entering. It's for our own good and our own health. So I'm calling the whole Nigeria, let them try to do it. Anybody that didn't do it, let him try to do it. To me, it's for our own good and for our own health.
It was a directive from the management that we should take vaccine before you assume your duty. Actually, it's very headache because of the crowd. So today I don't even attend. I cannot even perform my official duty in the office because of the stress of doing it. I encourage everyone to take it because there's nothing in it that you cannot take it. So everyone should just take it. If our government insists that you must vaccinate, everyone should just take it.
It was compulsory because we can't access the office without the COVID-19 vaccine. The uniform men, they didn't allow us, so
you have to go and take it?
Yeah, they said it's compulsory, so I have to. By tomorrow, if I come to work, I won't be stopped anymore.
This policy is seen as a measure towards curbing the spread of COVID-19, which has witnessed a spike in infections in most parts of the country and the FCT. Fatima Musa, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In the meantime, Nigeria on Monday recorded 7 additional deaths and 249 cases across 14 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The latest statistics by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, posted on its Facebook page on Tuesday morning for Monday, 17 January, indicates that the new confirmed cases have increased Nigeria's infection to 251,178, while the fatality toll now stands at 3,110. The center added that the new confirmed cases included a backlog of cases from Adamawa, Taraba and Niger states, with the latest data showing that 23,439 Nigerians are down with the virus nationwide, while the number of discharged cases increased to 224,629, including a backlog of community discharges. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Kano, 920 billion naira tricycle industry. This and more coming shortly. Thanks for staying. You're watching Trust News Update, and here's another look at the main stories again. Commuters ran into bandits in Badole village in Kurfi local government area of Katsina State, where bandits in their numbers mounted a roadblock, robbing passengers of their belongings. Plus, federal government has amended the charge against the indigenous people of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu, raising the count from 7 to 15 ahead of the hearing scheduled to resume on Wednesday. Moving on, the All Progressives Congress has announced the sale of its expression of interest and nomination forms ahead of the 2023 general elections. According to Channels Television House of Representatives positions, the form cost 3,850,000 naira. Forms for the State House of Assembly positions cost 850,000 naira, while female aspirants and physically challenged aspirants are entitled to 50% of the prescribed fees for each position. The announcement was made in a document containing the approved timetable schedule of the activities for the concurrent legislative by-elections across 4 states for the APC and signed by the party's National Secretary, Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Senator John James. Now, still on political matters, as race for presidential election begins in earnest, a professor of political science, Abba Sadiq, says Nigerians are politically tired and democratically despondent as a result of dashed hopes by what he called disillusioned ruling APC and major opposition PDP. He made the observations while delivering a lecture on the sidelines of political summit in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, on Monday. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Speaking on the theme of the lecture, the challenges of grassroots political mobilization, issues, challenges and realities, Professor Abba Sadiq says the ruling APC and the main opposition PDP have been dancing naked in the arena of self-disillusionment as they fail to meet the expectations of the electorates.
Nigerians are politically tired. That's the truth of the matter. Nigerians, we are politically tired. If you look at every face of every Nigerian, there is stress. And we are democratically despondent. We came a long way. We have withered the storm. Yet, the El Dorado is still far away.
He says the absence of leadership mentorship, faulty electoral process and questionable election results have paved way for electoral despondency and fatigue amongst Nigerians yearning for credible governance.
And unfortunately, there are two most vibrant political parties in Nigeria, the APC and the PDP. What's so much about them? As an issue, both APC and PDP are dancing naked in the arena of self-delusion.
Away from politics, tricycle operation is a multi-billion naira industry in Kano that is contributing significantly to the state's economy at various levels. Its value chain ranges from the riders, spare parts, dealers, down to commuters, among others. It is estimated that between 60 to 70,000 tricycles operate in the state. However, while some see the commercial tricycle riders as nuisance, the recent industrial action by the riders pose transportation challenge in the state. In this special feature, Trust TV Idris Jibrin takes a look at the industry and now reports.
Tricycle, popularly known as Adede Tesohu, was first brought in Kano by the then Governor Ibrahim Shekarau as part of his societal reorientation program, which allows the tricycle to carry only women as justification for Islamic Sharia implementation, earlier introduced by the former Governor Rabiu Konkosu in 2001. Prior to that, commercial motorcycle was the popular means of transportation among locals. Achaba was banned following the Boko Haram multiple attacks on Kano in 2012. Hence, tricycle became the most popular means of transportation that engaged thousands of youth with multiple business opportunities.
60,000 official figure. You hardly go and see my men arresting tricycle, crossing the traffic light, non-violation of traffic rules and what have you. It has reduced drastically. Before, when we start, you arrest 300 tricycle in a day. But now it's not like before.
To fully understand the economic significance of tricycle industry in Kano, we visited this retail outlet in Koforwa. From here, 66 pieces of tricycle used to be sold out on daily basis.
In a day, we used to sell up to 3 trailers. This is because our customers are coming from different parts of northern Nigeria. But now, because of the recent strike by the tricycle riders, we can hardly sell up to 1 trailer and some pieces that people used to come and buy.
Ibrahim Shekarau is a mechanic who specializes in assembling new tricycle. With 8 boys under him, this man can assemble 22 pieces of tricycle, each at the cost of 6,000 naira.
Actually, this trade has done everything for me. Between what I can take care of myself, my children, and the education of my children and the welfare of my family, I'm using this business for all that, and there are so many people who are equally benefiting from me.
While
And now on the foreign scene, Saudi-led coalition has carried out air raids in the Yemeni capital Sana'a, killing more than 12 people a day after the Houthi rebel group launched a deadly attack in the United Arab Emirates. Early on Tuesday, the coalition said it had begun air raids against strongholds and camps in Sana'a belonging to the Iran-aligned Houthi group. Saudi Arabia and the UAE intervened in the Yemen's war in 2015 to restore the government of President Abdurrabbu Mansur Hadi, who fled after Houthi rebels took over the capital and part of northern Yemen in late 2014. The UAE largely scaled down its military presence in the country in 2019, but continues to hold sway through the Yemeni forces it arms and trains. The UAE said it reserves the right to respond to terrorist attacks and criminal escalation. 2 Indians and a Pakistani working for UAE oil giant ADNOC died in the Houthi attack that ignited fire near Abu Dhabi's airport on Monday. And with that, we wrap up Trust News Update. But you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and also connect with us via our social media handles for latest news updates. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.